now.
So, last time, the party
On
was
Dragon
able to...
Ball Z.
Thank you for that. The party was able to get some much-needed rest, and in the morning of the next day, everyone had their own plans. Nancy spoke to some brotherhood, visited Hannah's store, and, just had a whole plan going on, walking throughout the whole settlement with a disguise on. Met a group of paladins in the bar of the Arkwing. Got the attention of a female paladin named Jessica to join her for, as she put it, pet sitting. So that's fun. George went to find a little more information about this council and spoke more to the treasurer. He, in the process of finding out more information and trying to handle any of the problems that arose, decided he would let Nancy deal with, at this point he deduced her parents that were a problem. And he went to deal with James, Kitten, and then the two slaves, who everyone thought James the synth medic robot was keeping two human slaves.
Get George, put the kibosh down there as quickly as possible.
And as you say, George did indeed put the kibosh on that. And he mainly found out that James didn't like this council because, in his words, he just traded one cult for another. Lucas, this piece of shit, got an upgrade on his pistol.
I have two of them now.
As I said, piece of shit. And that was about his lot in life yesterday.
Huh?
That was about your lot in life yesterday. You didn't really do much else.
No, I
besides
was
search around.
I was doing pistol mods.
Yep.
And I did also make two necklaces with spent casings, which I will be bringing to the two girls who have been working with James.
Yeah. But where we last left off was, for time purposes, George, you found Nancy, who was still in full disguise, spoke to her for a little bit, and then decided, I don't want any part of this, and wandered off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like laughing hysterically, if I recall.
And Nancy had just met up with Jessica and had just discussed the terms of this pet sitting. Jessica was pretty open to the idea. The only problem she had was she just wanted to know Nancy's name or face, and that wasn't given at the time. And now Nancy, I believe, has set off to go put her plan in motion. Oh, it does need to be said that Jessica said, instead of getting the gas you need from Hannah's, you could wait a day and she would have what you need.
I do remember this.
So, what would you all like to do?
Let's try the date.
Right now, it's about the middle of the day. Like, alright, George, I fucking hate you.
4:22 p.m.
It's about 12:38, 04:10.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it's the middle of the day.
I love it.
I hate it.
You granted him this gift.
You did. You have only.
Wait, did we all have a long rest then?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is the next day.
This is still right after you rested when you got back. So you were rested from that, and then the next day you did everything that you had just gone through.
So wait, it's still the same day as last session?
Yeah, it's the middle of the day. You had just met with Jessica. Lucas
But I met
went
with her at
off.
5 p.m.
You did meet with her at night, yes. So yeah, it's about 6.
So
Sorry.
so technically, I was closer with my 420 something.
You were, yes.
It's 6:27.
It doesn't change that Hughes is still a bitch.
I
So
accept
at
this
this
reality.
at this moment it would be starting to get dark, around 6 o'clock. This is after Jessica had left you. You're still in your full disguise,
Jessica dumped me.
plain as day. George, you had no real goal in mind when you said you were leaving, and Lucas, you had just made the necklaces.
Was there anything else on George's checklist? I don't think there was. I think it was just kind of dealing with Nancy's parents at this point, which he wanted to let Nancy do. However, I'm gonna say, as he was walking away, as time goes on, he slowly becomes increasingly paranoid
As you
about
should
what the
be.
fuck she's doing, and elects to go and find her again.
Okay. If you're gonna go find Nancy, Nancy, is there anything you want to be doing?
Uh, let's see. Last time I was speaking with Vlad, and I think I was going to... Where was I? The bunk place? Right?
Yeah, you had just gone to bed.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
not
where
gone
I
to
am.
bed, but yeah.
I'm just chilling with my doge. And, not in disguise.
Alright,
So yeah, I'm there now.
cool.
So George,
I
do
am
you want to ask around for where Nancy is?
Yeah. I'll just
Okay.
say he's wandering around. He's like, hey, anyone seen Nancy? Anyone? On the ship.
It's fairly evident that everyone, or at least the Brotherhood, know
Yeah, he's not asking the settlers.
that it was Nancy walking around,
Yeah.
and you are pointed to the bunks.
Alright. So he
So
heads
that-
in there and he sees her. It's kind of mellowing.
Yeah. Nancy, do you want to be asleep right now?
No, I'll say I'm awake. Just playing with my doge.
Too bad, George. Roll an attack.
Roll stealth.
So, yeah, as you open the doors to the bunks, you do, after a little bit of searching, find Nancy playing with truffles, still awake.
Yep. Hi!
Oh, howdy. What did you get up to today?
Well, I was gonna go and do stuff, and then I couldn't shake this horrible existential dread.
Oh, that's too bad.
Nancy, what is your plan?
This is probably the worst place to ask me. And she's smiling.
You're in the bunk area of an airship who doesn't give a rat ass fuck about the settlers.
Seriously, George kind of looks around. Is anyone even nearby to listen?
There are people nearby, just basic Brotherhood coming in and out, actively talking, some going to bed, some seemingly just rising. But yeah, there is a lot of traffic in this room.
It's
Okay.
what you see every morning and every night in Colony Survival.
Got it.
Pretty much.
All
yeah.
right. Cool.
Just hard plank upwards to their feet.
So,
So where
if
would you like to talk?
somewhere more private that's not underneath the stairs.
I was actually going to suggest there, but okay.
I mean, remember what happened last time?
Oh yes, I showed up and laughed at you.
Well,
I
do you remember
it
why
as if it was
you laughed at
yesterday.
me?
I don't actually remember. Oh, I do. George pauses. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a
I'm
couple
not about to yell at more hooligans.
doing the hanky-panky.
Okay.
So,
All right.
you know
Why
where
why don't we go up to the flight deck? It's big enough that we can find a quiet little corner to discuss the future darkness.
George
Sounds
X Mama
good.
Bird. Make it happen.
Let's go, Doge. She's bringing
Yes,
something.
mother.
Yes, mother.
You just hear in the back of your mind, I'm coming.
Tactical nuke deployed.
No, it's tactical goof. Get it right.
Tactical nuke. Yuck.
As it looks like Truffles is about to go to bed, and you say, come on, we're going to the flight deck, you just hear in the back of your mind, mission failed, we'll get him next time.
Why?
Okay, yeah, Truffles follows you. I wouldn't say happily, but just follows you.
No. See, John, what happens is, it doesn't happen, but I continue with the CSGO joke. Nancy walks a little bit ahead of Truffles in the back of her mind. Bomb has been deployed.
Alright, so is it a relatively uneventful trip to the flight deck?
Well, let's see.
Oh, he's got a roll for this now.
Oh no.
Are you
No,
taking
like-
the stairs or the elevator?
Stairs, because we've been told that's more polite.
Okay. So, when you're going to the
Airship
stairs,
would have multiple elevators.
you would think, but it has one centralized elevator. A lot of stairs, though.
Mm-hmm.
On your way up to the flight deck, pretty uneventful. Nothing really happens. You do pass by a few people going up, coming down. When you get to the flight deck, you see there is almost nothing up here. No vertebrates, no pilots. A lot of the engineers that were working on the vertebrates, not there.
Mm.
The flight deck it's not empty, but it's pretty desolate at this
Vacant?
point. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
The main thing,
Except for a single woman standing on the edge of the flight deck looking out over this horizon.
hair blowing in the wind as the sunset just basks.
George, take her
Truffles
now.
is in love.
Truffles?
It was love
Why
at first sight
Truffles?
for Truffles.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was that kind of story. Alright.
Alright, moving on.
What you do also notice is missing from the flight deck are the two tankards.
Oh boy.
Fueling, I presume?
Future.
So, all 5 vertebrates gone. The 2 tankards gone.
George just kind of looks around for a moment, sighs.
Where is the...
Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I
Probably
knew.
being used for what they asked us to find them for.
That's the hope, I say to the disembodied voice.
And there's also fucking Charles who's out on a mission because James is a fuckhead.
Someone's a little nippy.
George
I
pauses,
mean, it's
listening to
boyfriend.
the voices in his head. You know.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So, everything's gone.
Mm.
Everyone's gone.
Mm.
The Brotherhood does not seem on terribly high alert, so I'm
Mm.
assuming they realize it's gone.
Mm.
So I'm going to try not to panic,
Mm.
and not worry about the original reason I came here. He turns to Nancy. What is the plan?
Well, the plan is already pretty much figured out and actually is going a lot better than I thought it would.
As she says, it's going a lot better than you thought it would. You'd hear distant thunder.
Oh.
George just kind of looks around. He's like, excuse me?
I will say Nancy's a little perturbed by this.
Nancy, I think the universe is trying to tell me something.
This is my one chance to stop you here and now. Roll for initiative.
Jesus Christ. So I can't help but notice you were walking around in, I'm assuming that was meant to be a disguise.
Yeah.
And
More so, just don't want my identity to be known.
Nancy, you live here.
Yeah, I know.
You can't just try and pretend that people won't recognize you.
Shh. And she puts her hand over his face and slowly drags it across. Shh.
I will say, there is now a handprint there that is slightly smeared.
Great. So,
See, Michael, your response to that should have been, "This isn't working," without moving your mouth, because you don't need to move your mouth to speak.
oh yeah, that's true. He only does that out of habit. He technically isn't
This isn't helping.
No. Oh my god. You realize I talked to a speaker, right?
So, let me ask you this. What do you think I'm doing?
Some weird kinky
wish I
BDSM shit,
knew.
apparently.
Right now, my primary concern is that you're trying to do something to get rid of your parents.
Oh, I am not getting rid of them.
That's almost more disconcerting. I would feel better if I thought you were trying to get rid of them.
Wow, thanks, George. I really appreciate how much you care about my parents.
Okay, that's not quite what I meant, but I see what you're saying.
More distant
Okay, look.
thunder.
Let me rephrase this again.
Mm.
Right
The
now,
silhouette of an old god in the distance.
Yeah. Right now, Truffles just barks at it. You just hear a distant, oh shit. And it's just
You just hear, "Oh God," and it goes away.
It's my brother.
Oh my god.
Fuck, my grandpa's back from the war.
Jesus Christ. Alright, cool. But yeah, George just kind of like looks at her like, I don't know what you're doing. And I feel I should. I feel like as mayor, I should at least have some knowledge of what's going on.
You want the long answer or the short answer?
Whichever answer is the most complete.
I'm going to detox them.
That sounds good. Where's the catch?
I don't see a catch.
Nancy.
You got that addicted to kinky BDSM shit.
I don't know why you're looking at me like that. It's not like I have a shit ton of rope for some reason. Rope is useful.
No,
Rope is useful for many things.
Nancy.
Especially when your mom is very obese.
Nancy, that simultaneously
boy.
did not make me feel better. and also really made me uncomfortable. What are you doing?
I'm detoxing my parents.
Distant
What
thunder.
is the catch?
I've hired a babysitter to make sure they eat, drink, go to the bathroom, but then go and sit back in their chairs and sweat out all the shit in their system until they're vaguely functioning adults, maybe with a lot of mental issues, but at least not, you know.
That's it. That's it.
Mm.
Now, you just kind of touched on what my criticism of this plan was going to be, which is that they became alcoholics to cope with their crippling depression.
Mm.
So you're you see the flaw, right?
I see it as a step in the process.
So
Once-
okay.
So, Matt,
Mhm.
would you like to tell me why you were going through a wind tunnel?
It's my fucking. It's my furnace. Let me just mute myself.
Oh my god. So
It's a,
You're
it's
going
a
to-
step in the process.
You're detoxing your parents.
Because I am not talking to them when they are not sober.
And what exactly are you expecting to happen when you talk to them?
I'm not expecting anything from them. I just know what I'm going to tell them, and if they have a problem with it, then too bad. But I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's that.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to tell them that they can either behave until I find my sister, or they can leave.
All right. So, how exactly is this whole babysitting thing supposed to work? How exactly do you plan to get them to agree to that?
Oh, they're not going to agree. I'm going to force them into it.
Excuse me?
Distant thunder.
You're
I'm gonna gas them.
What?
It's at this point, Truffles looks up at you, and you hear in the back of your mind, "What the fuck, dude?"
You just hear in the back of your mind, Jesus.
George, I don't know if you know. Maybe you've been talking to the council. I don't know what you know, but I'm going to tell you what I know. I know that my parents have been kidnapping women and children who look like me and my sister and have been abusing them and not letting them leave. They are not in the right state of mind, and they are violent. They are violent. If I tried to talk to them, what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna beat the shit out of me or something. I don't even know. And I'd be in a position where I have weapons, and I would have to do something in self-defense. I am not going to do that. Instead, I'm gonna gas them, wait till they're fucking sober, and then I'm gonna talk to them.
Please stop saying that. Please stop saying you're going to gas them.
Mostly just saying it because your expression is very amusing.
Flash of lightning, this time included.
Is there a storm or something?
I don't know.
I mean, probably.
He looks out. Does he see storm clouds, or are you just being a dick?
There are storm clouds with a greenish tint to them rolling your direction.
Oh, goody gumdrops.
What? Would Nancy want to know what this is? Because I don't.
Oh, yes,
Yes, you would.
Oh, you
Okay,
would
it's a
absolutely
rat.
know what this is.
It's a rad
It'll
storm.
boil you alive.
Rad storms are fairly common in the wasteland.
Basically, think of a thunderstorm just instead of rain and thunder and normal lightning, just everything's radiation.
Oh, fun.
I'm not sure if I'd say fun, but okay, so we should probably get inside then.
Yes. Any more questions?
Nancy. There, I have nothing but questions, and I don't think there are any answers to them that I want.
Here's something you should know before we go back inside.
Okay.
Knowing this, you probably don't want me to be your second in command, and I would hope that you respect what I am doing, though it is probably very crazy, but I'm doing it so that they're not kicked out of here and left to the wild. Do you have a better solution?
I wish I did.
Exactly, so don't criticize. Until you come up with a better solution, this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I have a lot going on right now. And I'm sorry if I'm being short. I don't know what else to do.
George puts his hand on her shoulder. I'm sorry that I'm not being more helpful. I just don't know how to deal with this either.
It's not your problem. And I'm sorry. Again, I don't know what else to do. I wish there was an easier way, but I don't know any other way.
We'll figure this out.
Okay. So yeah, I'm doing that. I told the council people that the situation will be taken care of. Didn't give specifics for obvious reasons, and yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I get just kind of George just sort of turns and is just putting his hand over his face. I really feel like we should be telling at least them sort
George?
of what's happening. Okay, no, look, there's a precedent for this. And he
George.
turns to her. We're putting them under house arrest.
Okay. But what if they want to check up on them?
Well, that's the thing. We're not abusing them. We're making sure they, A, don't hurt people, and B, get better. That's exactly what house arrest is supposed to be.
Yeah, but they're gonna see people tied up.
Then maybe we don't tie them up. Maybe we just make sure they don't leave.
And how do we do that?
You have someone doing that, don't you?
Paul and Lucas kneecap them.
I was gonna say, just take care of their kneecaps.
You
Ain't going
hired
nowhere.
some. Didn't you mention hiring a babysitter?
Yes.
Is this a capable babysitter?
I don't
know, she's
know
got
how
power armor.
capable she is, but she has power armor and she's in the Brotherhood, so...
Then I'm assuming that she can take care of two fat people.
Marina,
Yeah, but...
let it be
Yes.
known that you actively told her not to wear her power armor. You wanted her in stealth mode.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for reminding
Be
me.
confused with the power armor version being sicko mode.
Also,
Oh my
What
god.
about in the downtime when she's not there? She's not going to be there all day. She's just there 2 times of the day.
Then maybe the council can make itself useful. They want the problem fixed. They can help fix it.
George,
Nancy, you
Potatoes.
cannot do this alone. It was stupid of me to try and make you.
Distant thunder.
Stop that.
I'm not involving a cult. when all they wanted was to get rid of my parents.
I don't... As uncomfortable as they still make me,
They
I
wanted
don't...
to get rid of them, George.
First and foremost,
It's at this point I'm going to point out that they did inform you that if things improved, they would consider keeping them around.
yeah, it was... George is also trying to say they've shown nothing but discomfort with the concept of killing. And George is also going to point out, looking at Nancy, if they do start becoming a threat to people, you can bet your ass I am kicking them out myself.
I don't...
We can't just take some people in a town, tie them up.
These are not just people. They're just...
your parents.
Yes. And they're also kidnappers and abusers? Currently?
We still need to make sure that when I'm not even going to say if, when people see this,
See what?
that you have tied up 2 citizens of the town.
I'm not going to announce it to the world. That's why I'm trying to keep it under the radar.
You cannot rely on people not snooping. People will snoop, especially if these 2 have made themselves a problem for the town. Someone is gonna go, huh, weird. Those 2 haven't done anything recently. I wonder why that is.
Do you think they're really gonna come knocking on the door and being like, hey, I brought you a pie. Hope you're all doing well?
I don't think they're gonna come and offer them a pie, but I certainly think they're gonna go investigate.
How about we do this? And she
Distant thunder.
smirks.
Very prominent distant thunder.
I'm listening.
Real quick before I make this plan, just out of character, I have a question for you guys, because you guys know Fallout better than I do. Is it possible for a place to be radiated, just like a plot of land, not like an entire place?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Excuse me, hold up. Are you trying to ask us if you could have just a perpetual gas chamber surrounding their home so they can't fucking leave? What kind
No,
of Nazi bullshit is this, Marina?
that is not at all what I was going to suggest.
Then
Not at
explain.
all. What I was going to suggest was that we put up signs saying, hey, this place is radiated, only certain staff members can go in. And then tell Jessica that she should start wearing a suit that makes her look like somebody taking care of the
Well, see,
nuclear
then the
stuff.
question arises, what the fuck occurred to make that specific place irradiated all of a sudden?
We come up with this story.
That's it. What we're talking about is creating lies to justify lies to justify lies.
I don't see a problem with this.
That's it.
Thunder's getting closer.
George!
Please.
Just signs.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
And hell, maybe by the end of all of this detox, my parents will actually have lost some weight, and then they'll be unrecognizable. And then, when they re-enter society,
That
they'll
does
actually seem like different people, and people won't connect the dots.
Nancy.
What?
I realize I probably haven't been super understanding, but I have been trying. However, that one goes a little too far. There is no way. Okay, first of all, how are you going to stop them from talking about what you did to them?
Well, let's see. Who's going to believe them if they start telling people?
Thunder's getting closer.
Who? Also, who's gonna care?
Then I will care. I'm the mayor. I'm
You'll
supposed
be the
to
only
be
one.
protecting them.
I'm losing my shit right now, but my mic is muted.
It's my job to make sure shit like this doesn't happen. We're talking about kidnapping, basically torture.
It's not torture. We're not hurting them.
Yes, it is!
Are they going to be injured? No.
Yes!
Will they be
you're
healthy
forcing
afterwards?
them into
Yes.
a detox.
I could think of worse things to force people into.
See, you're not helping.
For instance, an awkward conversation about forcefully binding your parents to their home.
Okay, allow me to propose
Mm.
another possible route for the detox plan.
Mm.
We try and get the Brotherhood to help.
No.
Not. They have the means. They have the technology. We are part of them.
Why
All we
would they
need to
bother?
do- All we need to do is at least try and say, hey, these two have been causing the problems for the town. Can you help us detox them? It's the Brotherhood. They can keep them in check without having to keep them prisoner.
But how would they do that?
With their big suits of power armor.
Yeah, but what about my parents? Like, what would they be doing?
They would essentially be living in the medical bay as they're going through the process of being detoxed.
Nancy.
Mm.
You begin to feel ever so slightly little droplets of rain.
We're going inside now.
Yep.
Do you want to say, for continuity's sake, based on how much you have talked and answered, that Lucas was there?
Sure, why not?
Did
I mean,
Lucas
I was about to interject and be like, John, has enough time passed where I went down to James's medical building, found the girls, kind of checked in with them, saw how they were doing, and offered and gave them each their necklaces.
Oh,
And
is
then
that what you want to be
made-
doing?
Well, that's what I. Yeah, but I imagine it doesn't take me terribly long to drill a hole in the base of a bullet casing and then put a simple like pull chain through.
No, you had that done. You just had
Yeah.
to go deliver it. So,
Yeah, I was just delivering it. I imagine that alone would have taken me like half an hour to walk all the way the fuck down there, find them, and chat with them for a bit.
yeah.
Alright. So I checked in with them, made sure they were doing okay. Do I have anything in my immediate inventory that I could offer them? Fuck it, I'll give the girls 100 caps. And they
Each?
can split it amongst themselves.
Oh, okay.
No, not each. I'll give them 100 caps, so they got 50 caps each, and just say, buy yourself something that you'd like. Basically, Uncle Lucas is giving you spending money.
Okay.
And then I'll say I started making my way up to the flight deck, because that was going to be my inevitable location where I was going.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because of time reasons, we didn't get to go over this as much last time. The settlement right now is currently on the outskirts of the old Red Claw Raider camp. Inside of the settlement, there is still that walled-in area that they used for that little hut.
Yep.
Inside of that walled-in area, is where James's clinic is and where a few other housings are. One of which is Nancy's parents' housing, but there are a few housings that either were already completed by the time the council had made the general lodgings, but there are also some that just decided I don't want to be a part of this and moved in there instead.
All right.
So, yeah, his medical center isn't exactly the biggest in the world, but it's still about as big as a house. So there's
Okay.
still enough room for
Sounds good.
beds. There's a second story to it, presumably for sleeping quarters. So they're making use of the walled-in area.
Cool. I mean, using the walled-in, most defensible area of the town for medical purpose seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
The only other thing that George and Lucas, since you went there, both of you have noticed, is the shack to go to what you both know as the underground labyrinth is sealed off,
Okay.
and it seems like no one really wants to go near it.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable.
And aside from that, you go in, talk to James for a little bit. He's basically same thing as with George. He just says that he doesn't really want anything to do with the council. He's gonna stay because a lot of these people are his friends, and he's treated them before. He knows their medical records. The girls, they don't talk much, and as opposed to you, George, where they didn't talk at all, they do talk to you, Lucas, a little bit.
Okay.
Only short words, usually only like a single word, maybe a short sentence. But, you know, they are talking, and they do give you a fairly quiet thank you for the money and the... Did you give them the necklaces?
Yeah, I gave them the necklaces.
Okay. Yeah, so they thank you for the caps and for the necklaces.
Okay.
And after that, not much time has passed, considering it's within walking distance of the settlement. It's not that far. You are able to catch up to George and Nancy roughly around the time when the thunder started. So
Okay.
you were there for a good portion of that.
Okay.
So now you're all gonna go inside.
I'm staying basically on the flight deck.
Okay.
I will say I'm not staying there through the entirety of the storm, but I kind of I'll take note of this and I'll be like nodding and saying, got it, George, you got to deal with this. I'm going on the deck, and I'm just gonna let George and Nancy figure this out together. I want nothing to do with it.
Great.
So yeah, I'm going to go over towards one of the sides of the flight deck over by the edge, and just kind of sit down. So, Michael, you know how we've turned Wilson into a Hexblade warlock? I'm just more and more realizing Lucas is basically becoming a monk.
Yeah, I suppose. Gun monk. Gun.
He's like a fucking gunslinger from the Dark Tower.
There are three sides to the flight deck. One of them is the longest side, looking down over the settlement and over all of the defenses. The farthest end, which is the smallest side, farthest away from the entrance to the flight deck, is really just looking out into the area where everyone has been chopping all of the wood down and really just getting a lot of all their materials. And then the second largest side is the side facing away from the settlement, looking over into the forest, into a pretty barren and beat up area. There's not much in the whole vicinity. It seems a lot of the trees that were around the area were cut down, either by the Brotherhood or by the Red Claw or by the settlement. Basically, so no one can really sneak up on them.
Mm.
Mhm.
So there is, in the immediate area, no trees, but if you're looking out away from the settlement, there is the beginnings of a forest and a few rolling hills in that
Okay.
direction.
All right. What direction is the storm coming from?
The storm is coming from, uh, actually, it is coming from that direction, away
Okay.
from the settlement, coming towards it.
Okay. I'll kind of set myself up out there. Again, on the edge of the flight deck, just sat down with my coat and my shirt sitting next to me. And I'm just going to sit there for a bit.
Okay. George and Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
you both are going inside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just a simple matter of running over to the door before the rain really starts coming down. As you do run over to the door, you hear down from the settlement, a lot of people are saying, like, some people are shouting, some people are really just yelling, get inside, get inside. So this seems like a natural enough occurrence to where the people who cannot deal with radiation are getting indoors.
All right. That is good. At least people are prepared for this.
And once you're inside, you do hear the rain over time starting to pick up.
Mm.
Not like in those movies where 1 second it's just dry as a bone, the next second instant downpour.
Yeah.
There's a fucking build up to it.
You know, like real life.
Yeah, you know, like nature.
This is the real life.
Is this just fantasy?
Is there anything you would like to do now?
Well, where are exactly?
Right now, it depends. Did you run inside into the elevator or run inside into the stairwell?
Which one is less crowded?
Less crowded, the elevator.
I guess Nancy just kind of looks to George. Which one we taking?
George is gonna say the staircase again.
Okay. Is Nancy following?
Yeah.
Okay. The stairwell, again, isn't the biggest thing in the world. It's mainly for just going to and from places. On each floor there is a big enough area to where you can relax for a little bit, but the stairs themselves are pretty narrow, enough to fit 2 people for going down and up at the same time. And if you wanted to go anywhere, you can, but for this very moment, there is at least privacy in this area.
Mm.
Nancy kind of takes a deep breath and turns to George. I don't want you to think I don't appreciate you hearing me out and taking everything I've told you so well, because I do appreciate it. But, and your solution isn't terrible, it's just, I don't want everything to be so public and right there and involving so many people.
Well, if we try to hide it, it just looks worse. And I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want this to. I don't know.
I appreciate that. I just. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I just don't think it's your problem, but the more you talk to me about it, I can see how it could become your problem, whether you'd like it or not. And I don't want that to fall back on you. My problems are my problems. They're not your fault.
It doesn't matter. It's not your fault either, you know.
Sometimes I really feel like it is.
You aren't responsible for your parents' actions. And that's a lesson that a lot of people need to learn at some point in their lives, and a lot of people don't take it very well. You aren't obligated to save them from themselves. And it's admirable that you want to, but
At this point, it is. Because who else will? And say I find my sister. No, I have to think positive. When I find my sister, there we go. I don't want her to ask, where's mommy and daddy? And they're not here or they're in their current state. I have to fix this. For her. If it wasn't for her, I probably just wouldn't have seen the point. I wouldn't have gone out here. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have had you guys drag them here. I don't know what I would have done. Hell, maybe I wouldn't even be here.
we'll figure this out.
Okay. For now, I'm just gonna do it my way, but I'll keep your idea in the back of my mind. I'll think it over. I will.
Okay. I can't make you do it. I can't. I'll place my faith in you on this.
Who would we talk to if we were gonna do that? Would we just talk to Timothy and James, or?
It would make more sense to go to them first, yeah.
Do you have anything on your list of things to do right now?
Just this.
You want to talk to them now?
Give it a shot. So,
Alrighty.
I guess George and Nancy are gonna head up to the command deck. Or not the
Okay.
command deck, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. The elders' quarters.
Yeah.
John.
Yes.
Can I just say ahead of time that I stay out in the weather until Rad's hit 200?
Okay.
Or roughly around that. I'll even roll a d20 to see if I even see
I
how
already
much higher
have.
over it.
I already
Okay.
have all of this that you
Okay.
need. Lucas. During the time that Nancy and George have gone inside, more so, I assume, not even testing yourself, but still taking note of. As the storm is rolling closer and closer, you begin to feel a twinge in the back of your mind.
Okay.
And
Did I leave the stove on?
the clouds that were previously a darkish gray color, almost blending in with the dark gray of the clouds, it seems as they're getting closer to you, they are having more of a light green tint to them. And you can feel that in those clouds there is a big chunk of radiation.
Question, didn't I already have this ability?
Yes, I'm just saying
Okay.
this is as the storm is getting closer,
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
noticing that there is in fact a distance for this.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
They aren't exactly directly above you,
Okay.
but based on where the clouds are in the sky and where you are, you do see that it's about, I would say, close to 3 miles out that you're
Okay.
only able to then feel a small twinge of something in the back of your mind. When they get to about a mile away, that's when you start seeing the clouds changing color, and you're more noticing that is a lot of radiation in there.
Okay.
And even though it's brief, the rain that is starting to come down in a pour, each one of the rain droplets has their own greenish glow.
Mm-hmm.
As usual, as they're landing on the ship, on the ground, on everything, there is a greenish mist that is following after. And simply sitting out for as long as you have, which even then wasn't that long,
Mm-hmm.
with the constant rumbling of thunder and the constant rain pour, you take 43 points of radiation.
Okay. So I'm at 211 right now.
Yep.
No, you said 43?
43.
All right, I'm at 214.
And you as a... Well, actually, I would do it this way. As you're sitting out there, and as you think, okay, it's time to go inside. Once you stand straight up, you feel your entire body just not really tighten, but it feels like your muscles got tighter,
Mm-hmm.
your eyes got a little keener, your hearing is a little farther, you can smell a bit more. When you go to walk out of this area, your walking is more fluid than before.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and add a +1 to every one of your special stats.
Like the modifier?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Does this modifier increase past the normal cap of 5?
It does.
Okay.
Scrub.
So that is not technically considered a level up. That is just across the board a +1 buff to all of your stats.
John, my AC is now 22.
John, why have you given Matt this power? He's already too strong.
Oh, also, just side note, in between bits, I have completed sketches for George, Lucas, Nancy, and Glenn.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wunderbar.
Oh, wunderbar!
They are not inked, but they are there. Is
I
there
would
any
like
other
to see-
characters you wanted, John?
Just George,
Did-
Lucas, and Nancy.
Oh, I did Vlad too.
That's fine.
Quiet.
Do you want an icon for yourself? Some kind of funny DM icon?
Sure.
I mean, I imagine his could simply just be Vlad.
Mm.
No, because Vlad speaks every now and again, so that's a bad idea.
Mm.
Ollie,
He is known to talk.
He is known to talk occasionally.
Can we make it troubles?
do we even know where Vlad is right now?
He went to go see Timothy.
Oh yeah, that's where we were going, huh?
Yeah. We'll meet up with the boy, maybe.
You head up to speak with Timothy. He's looking out the window. He turns around and sees you. What in the hell is your friend doing out on the flight deck in the rain?
Perhaps singing. I sing, get in the rain.
Lucas,
Hmm.
as you are walking inside, you keep thinking to yourself, man, that radiation really feels close. And as you're looking up, and as soon as you go inside, you think, okay, I should be safe from the radiation. There is still radiation in quite close proximity to you.
Ah, I see.
You've become radiation. You boy.
I see.
You've
Alright.
become a radioactive hotspot.
So 200 is the limit for that. However, 200 is a very potent ability.
It
Alright.
is not a very powerful amount of radiation that you feel in close proximity to yourself.
Okay.
But it is enough to where over time, if you were in almost touching distance to someone, you could give them radiation.
Okay. I'm going to make my way to the science deck.
Okay.
Hey guys, high fives.
No, I told the R&D team that I'd be keeping them up to date with new developments as they occur.
Okay. I mean, yes, I remember this, but now I'm imagining the scene goes even better. I got a new power. High five. Oh, sweet. What is it? Ah!
I think I can fucking Mark of Sauron people.
Yeah, it's just like his hand is just burning. Ah, yeah.
So we will go down to the science deck in but a moment. George and Nancy, you're going up to the elders' quarters.
Derp.
Okay.
Yeet.
When you go up there, upon the doors opening and you walking out of the stairway, James is not in the office. Timothy and Vlad are.
Hmm.
Office still looks the same as usual, nothing too different. The hole
There's
is
the
patched.
dead death claw on the ceiling.
The hole is patched.
Good.
Timothy is seemingly gearing up into a suit of power armor. And Vlad is attaching Brotherhood armor onto himself, taking off his leather armor and putting on Brotherhood armor.
Oh boy, what are we up to today, gents?
And you say that out loud?
Yep.
Okay. Vlad looks over to you, not exactly frightened, but startled. Oh, I didn't hear you all come in. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Timothy doesn't pay too much attention, still putting on his power armor. Not really even looking at you, but still talking at you.
Hmm.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
We wanted your help with dealing with a problem in town, although it looks like you're busy.
Yes, well, with this incoming storm, we can't exactly have our men who are not in power armor standing guard outside.
That is a good point.
So, at this current moment, our defenses are kinda lackluster.
Well, he turns to Nancy. I'm more than willing to volunteer to help guard the town and the base if Nancy can take over this problem. But I still wanted to ask your input.
Very well. What is this problem?
We have two townspeople who have been causing problems. They're having a lot of psychological issues, which a large part stems from severe alcoholism. We want to detox them. We were hoping we could ask the medical bay for help in keeping them in check and helping us do it quickly and without too many problems.
Well, that is a hefty problem. Are these people violent?
They
Yes.
can be. Certainly wouldn't be a threat to Brotherhood, but to general townies, yeah.
I see. Well, normally I do not particularly want the Brotherhood and this settlement intermingling too much. But I will make an exception based on your track records, and he points to you, George.
Alright.
I can make an exception. What needs to be done for these people?
The general plan was to basically keep them under wraps, for lack of a better word, until the detoxing is complete. Basically stop them from destroying themselves.
I see. Well, I do have a few options for you. We could take them, keep them within the settlement under house arrest. Make sure nobody gets in or out. We could take them, put them in our medical bay under supervision. You have told me they do get violent. We could
Yes.
keep them in the medical bay while they are asleep in a pseudo coma, if you will. Or we could put them down into our cells until they detox.
What does the coma entail?
Well, the coma, it could be your choosing. We either inject them with a little, and he looks away for a minute, cocktail, if you would, and looks back towards you, of a few medications to make sure that they are healthy and they will wake up, but they will be out for, our last estimate was about a month.
That's certainly not a short amount of time.
No, which is why they would need supervision.
George kind of looks at Nancy. I feel like I should be asking your opinion.
Man, coma sounds ideal, quite frankly. As horrible as that sounds. Is it possible that Because what we're waiting for is to reunite them with somebody. We haven't found that somebody yet, but when we do, it would be nice for them to be in a healthy state of mind. Is it possible to keep them in this coma until then?
Well, if this search of yours is gonna be less than a month, then the answer will be no. If it's going to be longer than a month, we might have to re-administer this cocktail we have.
How many cocktails can they take?
He kind of smiles a little bit. As many as we need.
Then let's do it.
Alright. I don't feel comfortable having my men just storm into the settlement, inject a family, and carry them away. I will have to leave that up to you.
I have a means.
Well, alright then. It seems like this is one of those do not ask, do not tell types of scenarios.
You're
I
correct.
suppose. I'll make sure that everything is on the up and up, as it were.
Very well. You get the job done. You bring them to us. We'll deal with the rest.
Nancy holds out her hand for Timothy to shake. And she probably has the most serious expression he's probably seen from her thus far, and she just says, "Thank you. It means a lot."
He reaches out and takes her hand. It's my pleasure.
She just kind of nods, kind of looks away awkwardly. They will be here tomorrow night.
Very well. I'll have everything set up by then.
Thank you.
Now, if there is not anything further, I really should get to the defense.
I'll come with you.
May I help?
Alright. Well, unless you have a suit of power armor, or you are not as human as I believe you are.
Can I borrow a suit?
He looks at you with almost a happy smile. Are you a paladin in the Brotherhood of Steel?
I'm a friend of the Brotherhood of Steel.
Did you really say it like that?
Yes.
He gives a slight chuckle as he has a big smile. Well, that just means you may not borrow one.
Okay. She kind of pouts, but isn't like terribly upset. It's kind of like a kid, like, okay, I guess I can't play with the toys, I guess.
George does kind of look at her. It is worth noting, paladins have to go through many years of training just to know how to use the damn things. So even if Timothy let you put one on, you probably wouldn't be able to use it very well.
Oh. Are they really that complicated?
Yes.
Oh.
This is actually a canon thing. You cannot wear power armor in-game unless you have power armor training.
Oh.
It
Cool.
will not let you.
Interesting tidbit. Well, I'll go find Lucas, I guess, and just hang around.
Because I have
I
nowhere
imagine it's not
better
going to
to
be very
go.
difficult to find my ass.
So, Nancy, you're heading off to go find Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. George, you're following along with Timothy.
Yep.
Okay. I will say, as the three of you leave, Vlad is staying in the elder's office.
Bye, Vlad. Nancy waves.
uh, he gives you a smile and a wave. Bye-bye.
Good
See
luck
you
with
in
the defense.
hell!
And as you leave, so are you just going to explore around until you find Lucas, or are you going to ask around?
Oh, I'm asking around.
Okay. Fairly easy to figure out that he is in the Science Bay, as it were.
Okie dokie.
Lucas!
Aye.
So, you're going to the Science Bay right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Stairs or elevator?
I'm taking the stairs.
Okay. Ugh. So, you do make it to the floor of the science wing, and upon opening the door, the room does look different from when you were last in here. A lot of the projects that you saw out are no longer on display or are simply put somewhere else.
Hmm.
The biggest thing you see is inside of the entire area, there is a big dome. On both sides of this dome, there are big cylinders with a radiation symbol on it, uh,
Okay.
with tubes hooked up to the dome. On the front, looking directly at the dome, there is a piece that comes off of it, like it's not a perfect dome. The tubes on the side and the cylinders that are holding what you imagine is radiation, um, in what form you don't know. Coming
Hmm.
towards you, there is just a tunnel with, from what you can see, three different layers to it. The front layer, there is a barred off door. For the second layer, you can't really see the third layer very well, but it looks to be the thickest and the most prominent.
Okay.
There are scientists running around. A lot of them are performing tests. Some of them do have the railgun. Uh, I think you and George saw it. I don't know if Nancy saw it.
I don't remember.
A railgun?
Yeah. No, you did not.
Yeah, we'll say I didn't.
Uh, but you see the railgun that you saw down in the armory being worked on by them. Uh, the Stalker's corpse is now up here.
Hmm.
Um, the scientists are peeling away pieces of it. There are parts lying everywhere. And there is a big tub on the table that is, on the tub is written organs.
Good.
Okay. Good.
Mm. Wonderful.
There are a few more tubs. If you want to go investigate those, you can. But right now, it doesn't seem like there are too many people on the Science Bay right now.
Okay. Um, does anyone in the immediate vicinity seem not free but less busy than the rest? I mean, if there is someone who's just kind of looking like he's free at the moment, I'll approach them, but
Um, let's see. Right now, the only person that isn't doing something is, from what you can see, uh, a woman in a lab coat, same as everyone else, and she seems to be just sitting in a chair watching everything that everyone is doing. She's holding a clipboard, and whenever she sees someone do something or someone catches her eye, you see her watch them for a little bit, look down at her clipboard, write something, and then look back to find someone else.
okay.
Everyone else seems to be working on something, carrying something, or in various levels of discussing research and showing and passing notes to each other.
I guess I'll approach her.
Okay.
Evening.
As you approach her, she is once again just sitting in a regular chair. Her hair is kind of disheveled. Her ponytail is a little off center. She looks very tired. She doesn't even look up at you, but you hear, "Oh, hi."
Question: the guys who were doing work on the what was it? I think we bring back ghoul corpses or ghoul pieces that were from special mutations.
Ah, yes, the ghoul parts. What about them?
Just wanted to, if possible, get a hold of those scientists who are working on it. I told them I'd keep them up to date if anything new or happened to arise with me.
Ah, yes, you are looking for the general supervisor of the first shift. I'm the supervisor for the third shift.
My apologies for bothering you if that happens to be the case.
It's alright, they explained everything to me. So, what you're looking for? We've been working on it. We don't have it finished. We barely have a plan drawn up. A lot
That's
of
fine.
things have been dropped into our laps. I assume you're the ghoul they made the deal with for radiation testing?
I was.
Very well. And you see her flip the clipboard to just page after page after page after page until she gets to one in seemingly the middle area of the clipboard. Any progress on that?
Well, I'm sure you... I don't know if you noticed that there was a red storm outside or if it was announced to the ship. I figured I'd make the best of it and stay out there for a bit. When it finished, well, felt a little more physically capable in pretty much every asset.
I see.
However, on that note, I am giving off ambient radiation at the moment, not enough, I don't think, to cause any harm to people immediately next to me, but if I was to touch someone, I would be giving off rats.
I see. Well, and everything that you're saying, she's just writing down. You don't know if it's word for word, but when you start talking, she starts writing. When you stop talking, she stops writing.
Okay.
She looks up at you. Well, just make sure you don't touch anyone.
Well, on that thought, all of my clothing is long sleeves and long pant legs anyways, except my hands. Would you happen to have maybe an extra pair or a pair of lead-lined gloves for radiation research that I might be able to purchase off of you guys?
Well, we do have them. However, and she flips another page, I have here that, as a note, they wanted to do some extra testing on you to see just what happened. So, would you
Okay.
be up for a trade?
I'd be okay with that. If possible, I'd like to, after the testing is done, obviously, I'd like my rads kind of reset to where they are currently.
Yes, that can definitely be done. So, the deal will be we give you the lead line gloves you want. That way you don't give off any radiation. And you do a few tests for us.
Fair enough.
Alright. Well, we'll start with the test first. And as soon as she gets up, she seems a little livelier. Not too much, but she definitely seems into it. And she leads you over to the dome. So, as anyone with a brain would have figured out, inside here we are going to pump you full of radiation. There are 3 layers to this so that the radiation does not leak out, so you don't need to worry about that. The first layer, plain and simple, just a lead-lined door. Second layer, a little bit thicker, more lead added to the lead. The third layer is a very special door that we've made, completely radiation resistant. That way, if any does leak out, it doesn't really do too much, as we do have other layers. It's in between the third and second door where we will administer the rad away. So,
Fair enough.
you don't need to worry about that. So, if you would, please strip and get into the dome.
I mean, this isn't the first time Lucas has had to strip for a physical. He is
I know.
military.
That's true.
So yeah, he strips, gets in.
Just real quick, roll a d20 for me.
Oh,
Thank you,
please.
John. 18.
18?
18.
Okay. Not as big as Vlad's from your memory.
I hate you both.
Still fairly prominent.
I hate you both.
As you do strip, there is it almost feels like you heard it in your own mind, or your own mind is playing tricks, but you could have sworn that the woman you were just talking to made a quick little
Anyways.
So you're going into the dome?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first lead line door opens up. You step in. It closes behind you. The second door opens up. You walk in. Closes behind you. The third door takes a little longer to open up, but still it slides open, and then you walk in, and it seals behind you. This door, when it closes, you hear a distinct
Mm-hmm.
and surprisingly beforehand, even though you knew those were nuclear cylinders, you felt no radiation coming from them.
Mhm.
But now that it is being pumped into this dome, you definitely feel it.
Uh-huh.
And you hear from a speaker inside of the dome, you hear just a quick... So, we're going to begin the testing now. If it feels like it's too much for you, just... Well, we can't exactly hear you out here, but do something.
Scream! We won't hear you!
And then you hear another...
Alright, I guess I'll just kind of point to myself, point to them, and just make a thumbs up or thumbs down motion.
Okay, so you're going to point to yourself, point to them, and then gives a thumbs up?
I'm gonna do a thumbs up and a thumbs down motion one after the other, and just nodding with it. So I'm acknowledging these are the commands I'm gonna be doing.
Okay.
Obviously, thumbs down is when they're scientists. They can determine that's when it's a little too much.
Okay. You do also hear, once again, a quick. Also, just so you know, you did not need to strip.
You told me I was doing that.
Doing what?
You asked me if I was stripping to get into the fucking dome. Why'd you actively ask me?
No, she told you strip before you go in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is just her telling you.
Oh, so she wanted to see me.
She's just telling
Okay.
you didn't need to do that.
Ah,
Great.
Oh,
got it.
she's one of those.
Then after a moment, you do hear a fairly prominent hissing coming from besides you. You don't feel any radiation just yet. Then you hear, "We will begin testing. Thumbs up or thumbs down."
Thumbs up.
All right. Testing begins. And you feel from both sides of you a very hefty amount of radiation getting pumped into this dome.
Mhm.
The whole dome is getting filled up with a combination of almost condensation as water is starting to show up on the sides of the dome that are
Mhm.
very green in color, and the dome is
Mhm.
filling up with a green mist. Let me roll some dice. Okay. After about 3 or so minutes go by, uh, you feel yourself taking in radiation, 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 and go ahead and add 70 points of rads.
Okay, I'm at 284.
Okay. Uh, you hear the hissing slow down in intensity and eventually come to a stop. Your radiation is still rising, uh, but it's not going at such a rapid pace. It's not too hard to see outside of the dome, but it is definitely getting pretty misty in here, and the condensation isn't exactly making it easy. It looks
Mhm.
almost like a sauna, I would say.
Okay.
And then you hear. Would you like to continue?
Do I feel anything different about me other than the rads on me at the moment?
Right now, you feel nothing different.
I give a thumbs up.
All right. And you hear slowly but surely the hissing beginning to continue again. It's at this point, Nancy, you walk in.
Mm.
You see Lucas in a fairly big dome. You see a bunch of scientists around this dome. One woman with a very happy smile next to a desk, and a big control panel, and a
Can we just call her a whoopin'?
Whooping.
and a
She's gonna
microphone
get a
next to
whooping
her.
if Charles hears some of this.
Uh, and your attention is immediately drawn to the dome, which is getting filled up with this green mist. And you see a very naked Lucas inside, just standing there, taking in this mist. And you
Being
see two
naked.
cylinders with radiation symbols next to it. Uh, and from outside, you're not in the dome. From outside, you hear the scientists talking amongst themselves. A few of them asking, Oh, what's gonna happen now? How much can he take before this kills him? Will this kill him? What's this gonna do to him? So your immediate
Nancy
impression
is.
is Lucas is getting gassed.
Hmm. Nancy looks for the person who looks most in charge.
Okay. Uh, right now, you can't really tell who's in charge. After a moment of watching and trying to figure out who's in charge, you see the woman on the control panel press the button, and then you hear her say, "Would you like to continue?"
Is this a second would you like to continue, or the first one that I already thumbs up to?
The first one.
Okay.
Nancy's gonna pay attention to what Lucas says.
Yeah, you see me put a thumbs up.
And then you hear her say, "All right." And then you see her take her hand off the button, and she presses another button on the control panel, and the gas intensifies inside of the bubble.
Nancy is marching over to that woman. Her face very blank.
Okay.
Don't fuck this up.
So as you walk over to her, you see her with a very big smile. She is taking notes down. Do you want to look at the notes, or at least try to look at them before you talk to her, or no?
Oh no, I'm on a mission.
Okay. As you walk up to her, again, big smile on her face. Her hair is all frazzled. Her ponytail is a little off-centered. Her hair is brown, by the way. Don't know if that mattered.
Mm.
But yeah, she's just writing down notes, looking at the control panel, and then looking up at the dome. Doesn't really even see you approaching.
Hey,
She looks over. Yes.
so what's going on?
Well, and she looks down at her notes. We are currently pumping this ghoul full of radiation to see what will happen.
And does he know you're doing that?
She gives you a very confused look.
I'm basically asking, is he okay with this? Does he know to what extent you guys are pumping whatever into him?
To what extent? No. However, he is the one that stripped naked and walked into the dome.
Side question, why is he naked?
She looks at you, and with a completely serious face, I honestly don't know. He just started taking his clothes off. We didn't even need him to do that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that. And Nancy outright says that. So, probably not your fault. Somebody else, some pervert probably made him strip or something.
This
So
place
he
is filled
doesn't
with a
even
lot of
know
weird people.
Uh-huh.
how much radiation you're pumping him with.
No, not particularly.
How much are you pumping? How much? How much?
4,000.
Well, right now, considering I haven't pressed the off switch yet, it would be... Give me 1 second.
Oh boy. Nancy, what have you done?
Add an extra 100 units of radiation.
I'm at 384.
Uh-huh.
And as she looks over at her control panel, Nancy, you hear from her, "Uh-oh," as she walks over and presses a stop button.
What does what-oh mean?
It means what-oh.
She is completely ignoring you now, as Lucas, you hear from inside the dome, "How are you doing in there?"
John, now that I've broken both 300 and 350, has anything occurred?
Lucas,
Oh no.
Your eyeballs are melting.
you feel both of your arms, just from shoulder to every one of your fingertips, just feels like there's running water through them.
Ooh, that doesn't sound like a pleasant sensation.
It is
Okay.
a constant. It starts from your shoulder, trickles all the way down to your fingers, and then just keeps doing that from your shoulder to your fingers all the way down. It feels like the water is getting hotter and hotter and hotter,
At the tips of my fingers?
just in your entire arm. Wherever this pulse is, and it feels like liquid just flowing through your arm. Wherever that is, in each section of your arm, as soon as you feel it in your shoulder feels burning hot. As it's moving down your arm just starts feeling hot. When it gets to your hands feel hot. And when it gets to your fingertips feel hot. When it goes back to your shoulder, everything else cools down.
Okay. I'm going to kind of look up to her, and all the while I'm kind of like observing my hands, and I look up to her, and I kind of make a circle motion with my hands, and then make like a gun motion, like to try and ask, is there a way to set up a target?
Okay. You hear her say, because she hasn't unpressed the button, I have no idea what that means.
Can I roll perception to guesstimate?
You may.
Okay.
That's
John.
a 10?
Okay. As far as you're aware, you think... Well, actually, let me roll.
Oh no.
You think he's saying to kill it. And when you think of, what does kill it mean? You think he's saying, stop the tests.
She turns to the lady. He's saying stop the tests. Duh.
You have to throw in the duh.
I'm pretty pissed right now.
I mean,
Yeah,
I imagine
yeah.
this woman is not trusting enough of Nancy. She's gonna ask me again.
Yes, Lucas, you do hear, presumably her taking her finger off the microphone, another... And Nancy, she turns to you. And how could you possibly know that?
He's my friend.
So he does a circle motion with a gun a lot.
I'm sure I've seen it at least 2 or 3
I
times.
feel like he has
No.
done this at least
I have
somewhat.
not.
No,
Never done
Never.
that.
No, I have never
No,
done that.
no, I know.
Okay.
But Nancy right now thinks that because of the roll.
Oh, good.
Okay, and that always means to stop?
Yeah. Stop shooting. Stop doing this. Stop being stupid. Kill the test.
Yes, because that's happened a lot of times. George has been fucking drawing and cornering him for science. It's just like, alright, no, this has gone far enough. Circle gun motion.
She looks at you very confusedly, walks over to her microphone, and Lucas, you hear, do you want to stop the tests?
I give her a very confused look, and I look at Nancy through the window, and I look back to her. I point at Nancy. No. And I shake my head.
Oh. Well, that's my mistake.
But I kind of put up a hand and the finger just hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay, he wants us to wait.
Yes, I've gathered.
John, I'm gonna summon a Reaver Ball.
Okay.
Gonna summon Cthulhu. Hold on.
busts out a few candles, draws a circle in the ground.
It's just
Looks like he's saying something, but we
Yeah.
can't hear it.
Sul.
Simlish is actually the language of the older gods.
I believe it.
If you were inside the dome, you would hear Vidumadun, oh great one.
Oh my god.
A diamond just appears over his head.
And he just whispers, it has begun.
I keep telling him to go to the bathroom, and he keeps eating.
My voice goes from this to it goes to this. It has begun, children.
Vida Makurutu.
Stop it. Silence.
Anyways,
So you make
so
a reaver ball.
I'm making a reaver ball. Is it any bigger? Do I notice anything different about it?
The reaver ball itself does look bigger.
Okay.
Instead of the usual just ball of radiation that it normally is, this one looks like it's still a ball of radiation, but it looks like parts of it are trying to expand almost, as you know how on the sun there are arcs of heat
Yeah.
that just naturally happen.
There's like
reaver
little
ball is
flares of
doing that.
radiation.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to once again just kind of hold up a finger, and then I'm going to walk towards the side of the dome where the door is, so I don't fucking blow up the door.
Okay.
And I'm gonna lob it to the other end of the dome.
Okay. So you're just gonna throw it at the other end of the dome?
Yep. Avoiding the door and presumably, I assume, avoiding the control station.
Okay. Yeah, the control station is when you're walking out of the dome, it's just a little further to the left, facing towards
Okay.
the dome.
Okay, cool.
So,
So yeah.
okay. Roll for attack
Roll an attack.
with the reaver ball, yes.
14.
Did you roll 2d20?
For the damage? You asked me to roll an attack, not damage.
Right. What was the attack roll?
The attack roll was 14.
14? Okay. The reaver ball itself flies over to the other side of the wall, bounces off of it, lands on the ground, and just kind of rolls.
Okay.
It gets to a little less than halfway towards you before it explodes. And the explosion, go ahead and roll damage.
Just regular damage?
Just regular reaver ball damage.
Okay. Oh, well, those dice rolls are kind of shite. For the radiation, it rolled 14, and the damage, it was 5.
Okay. The reaver ball explodes, shaking the whole dome. From the inside, you feel... It almost feels as if the dome itself just wiggled.
Okay.
You get hit with 14 radiation,
Okay.
and now the whole dome is filled with more green mist and smoke than before.
Okay.
The condensation is getting to the point where it is just liquid radiation running down the dome, pooling up on the ground. Not too much, but it is starting.
Mm-hmm.
The woman outside is just frantically taking notes. And Nancy, you have just seen Lucas essentially throw a bomb into an enclosed room, and it exploded.
You also took note, Nancy, that I summoned this bomb with my bare hands.
His bare hands, you say? Not his
So
normal hands.
nothing of immediate note seems different about how it behaved, John?
The Reaver Ball itself, it just looks a little more wild and a tiny bit bigger. Um, Nothing else about it seems different.
Okay. They were impact detonation before, right? Is it now timed?
As far as you can tell, it might be.
Okay. Going back to the pulsing arms at the moment. Because I'm still not entirely sure what the deal with this is. I'm going to step to the center of the room again, and uh, I'm not entirely sure what to do. Can I? I guess I'll attempt to expel the radiation. I don't know.
Okay.
Like I'm going to try and time. Like, oh, I'm going to try and time it up with the pulsing of the energy down to the tips of my hands.
So when it
with
reaches
just
your hands, you're going to try to expel it.
yeah.
Okay. For that, I guess that would be an agility. So yeah, roll agility.
Okay. Um, 13. Rolling really shit right now. I mean, I guess it's okay here because it's a controlled environment, but
Okay. It does take a few tries as you can't get it down just right. As the pulse goes from your shoulder, you try it when it reaches your hand. You lash your arms out. Nothing happens. You wait for it again to come all the way down to your fingers. Lash it out. Nothing happens. You wait for it a third and final time for it to come from your shoulder all the way down to your fingertips. And just as you feel like it's going to go away, you lash your arms out. And Nancy,
Hmm.
from your perspective, in this green gas filled dome, you see Lucas spreading his arms out once. Nothing happens. He looks at his hands. Twice. Nothing happens. He looks at his hands.
a little
And
flustered after the second one.
just a little bit flustered. You can see a tiny bit of frustration building on his face. And then you see him almost nod to himself like, I'm gonna do it now. And the third time, this long string of green energy lashes out from his arms. It looks as if both of his arms have just disappeared, and they are replaced with these long, almost noodles of what you can see is just a green length of string, wire, whatever it is. It's going from his shoulder all the way to the ground. And Lucas,
Mm,
your arms feel weird.
I imagine.
As you whip your arms out,
Watch me whip. Watch me nay.
stop it.
Whip, whip.
You
Watch me,
feel
nay, nay.
your entire arms just start burning up and then just stop almost in the span of like 2 seconds. And then you hear just as both of your arms are engulfed in what you can tell is pure radiation, and that radiation continues to fall and coil down to the ground in just one solid stream.
Okay. So it didn't like disintegrate my arms, but rather my arms are just enveloped in this energy right now?
To your knowledge, yes, because you can
Okay.
still feel your arms, you just don't see them.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try and I guess I'm gonna kind of fuck around with them for just a moment and try and get a feel for how the things fucking lash around, or if there's a method to more accurately controlling them, or if it's just a whip.
Okay. Roll Just a regular D20 for me.
18.
18? Okay. After messing around with it for a while, you see that the best course of action, you try just lifting your arm up, seeing if it'll extend. Nothing happens. You try just spinning in circles to see what'll happen. They do extend and are just spinning with you. You try whipping your arm, and it does act like a whip and whips out. You try and use it as a impromptu lasso by swinging your arm around and throwing it at something. When you do that, you feel that it extends a little farther,
Mm-hmm.
but the radiation in your left arm goes away a little bit, seemingly to compensate for trying to cover more distance with your right arm by taking away from your left.
Okay.
And after you feel that, I assume you would try to extend or take away from either arm.
At this point, I would once again walk back to by the door and look away from the door, and I'm going to try and will the entire length of both of them to go to my right arm and relinquish the left.
Okay. Roll luck for me.
That's a natural 19.
Okay. Almost as if you've been told how to do this at some point. There is just a natural gut feeling of, yeah, this is something I can do. And you put all your attention onto your right arm and a single thought of extend. And you feel your left arm cool down considerably. And when you look back at it, you see your arm, same as always. And the right arm is a very, very long coil, just coiled up on the ground.
Okay. I will dispel both arms.
Okay. And after a brief thought of, well, this is cool, you think, I'm done. Your right arm cools down considerably, and both of your arms are back.
Okay. What was the rads I took on for that little stunt?
For doing that, you didn't take on anything.
Oh. Okay. Okay. So the Reaver Ball is slightly different. The arms have that little note to them now. I'm going to... this room, is it like kind of a dish where I imagine there's a drain at the center and the bottom?
There is, yes.
Or there is? Alright. I'm gonna walk over towards the drain.
Okay.
And actually, John, would you mind if I just rolled a intelligence check right now? Or would this be an endurance check to gauge how close to another threshold I am?
For that, roll intelligence.
13.
13? From what you can gather, based on how these abilities of yours have worked, you feel as if you are close to passing another threshold. You just don't know what that is.
Okay. I'm going to kind of squat down next to the drain, and I'm going to kind of look up at the control room, just hold up a finger, and I'm going to cup some of the liquid that's flowing down and take a sip of it.
Okay. You take.
I imagine it tastes awful.
Ironically enough, it tastes like water to you.
Oh, really? Okay.
You
All right.
take 24 points of radiation.
Okay.
Uh, Nancy,
Yes.
from your perspective, you have just watched Lucas make these whips out of his arms. He
Hmm.
plays around with them for a little bit, extends them, and then dispels them. The scientists in the room that weren't previously paying attention are now just huddled around the dome, all of them taking different notes, all of them speculating to themselves. The woman standing next to you looks absolutely elated, and she is taking notes furiously. And then you
I am.
watch him go over to a drain, pick up some radiation in liquid form, and drink it.
I'm sure this is mortifying. Not nearly as mortifying as your parents waking up in a cell locked into a bar in a few hours.
While everyone's
Right.
distracted, I'm gonna make my way over to the microphone button thingy. And, I'm gonna press it and be like, Lucas, what are you doing?
Uh, Roll agility.
Oh, yes. 18 plus 4?
Okay. All right. As you're sneaking behind the woman who's frantically taking notes, you reach out over to the microphone. She moves her arm just a bit, and you thought she spotted you, but she just reached over to grab an eraser, is erasing something, and continues writing. She doesn't seem to notice you. Then you press the button, and as soon as you talk and ask, Lucas, what are you doing? Her head just whips over to you.
I pay her no heed. I am
Okay,
looking directly at Lucas.
okay. Uh, Lucas,
Hmm.
from inside the dome, as soon as you take a drink, you feel it course throughout your body. Uh, then, as you're trying to figure out, has anything changed? You hear, and you hear Nancy talk to you.
Lucas, what are you doing?
I imagine the woman is looking at me at the moment, both me and Nancy.
She's looking at mainly Nancy right now.
Okay. And I kind of put it. I do the knife hand to Nancy to get her attention, and I direct her to the woman next to her.
I
Oh,
look to the woman.
okay. Uh, as you look to her, she looks at you, looks over at Lucas, and then looks to you. What? What are you
I don't
doing?
know. What is he doing?
Well, he is trying to help science right now.
What?
Well, yes, he's the one that wanted these experiments, so he is presumably going as far as he can with them. Admirable, really.
But,
He's just
but
banging out the glass.
stop!
Stop! He's just like, clearly, he's having a great time, loving life.
He's just banging on the window. Let me out! Really, just leaps and bounds for science.
Well, but he's drinking radiation.
You see her
She presses
smile.
the button again. Lucas, I'm concerned.
You see me. You see me. Just kind of wave you away.
She slightly pushes past you and she presses the button, and Lucas from inside you hear, So are we continuing or...
I kind of hold up a finger for pause at the moment, and I'm still trying to gauge if anything different has occurred.
Okay. Are you still sitting on the ground?
I mean, I took the sip of the radiation, and
Yeah.
I'm now just kind of I've stood myself back up.
Okay. As soon as you stand up, same feeling as earlier. Your body seems to tighten. Your muscles seems to grow leaner, but also stronger. Your eyesight has gotten considerably better. At this point, you can almost hear conversations going on outside. Not much, but it sounds like muffling or muffled voices to you, but you
Mm-hmm.
can hear it. Uh, as far as you can tell, your other senses have increased. You just can't tell within such a controlled environment.
To what degree?
To you, add +2 to all of your special stats.
Ah, I see. Okay. I kind of catch the attention of the woman heading the experiments at the moment, and just put the thumbs down.
Thumbs down? Okay. Uh, and you hear, all right, we'll drain the room and then we'll get you out of there.
Good.
And Nancy, you see on the control panel, uh, it is flashing red, and across the top of it, you see danger, radiation levels critical, and you see her press a drain all button. Lucas, from inside the dome, you hear either a fan or a suction or something, and you feel all the radiation slowly leaving the room. All of the liquid in the room is starting to drain and flow to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But it is going to take a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy,
Okay.
anything you want to do?
So, what exactly is happening right now? I see a big critical thing. I'm not liking that. Uh,
She
Lady,
looks at
please explain.
she looks at you, looks at the flashing critical sign. Ah, yes, one moment. She
Mm,
walks away over into a desk. Uh, you hear something just go. She walks back over with a piece of tape and just covers it up. Now,
Nancy's jaw drops.
she looks at you. Thank you for pointing that out to me. There anything you need?
A reason to not beat you right now. What is happening?
You see her smile grow a little bigger. Oh my, is that a threat?
I am very upset, and I don't hear any explanations. Is he going to be okay? And I don't want to lie. I want the goddamn truth.
Okay.
No, he's dying. It's your fault.
She looks at you with as serious of a face as she can give you. All right. Well, a little while ago when he was here on the Arkwing, he came to us in the science division, specifically someone during first shift, and he asked for a little explanation as to a few things happening with his body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as he could tell, he just couldn't feel much anymore, and he said he only felt really alive when he had radiation. So,
Ah,
we're just trying to help him with that.
So you're pumping him with more radiation as a solution?
He's the one with the problem. We're just trying to help him.
But I don't that sign said critical. What does that mean for him?
For him, well, and she smiles and looks towards the dome. Well, I absolutely am curious as to what that means for him. For
So
us,
you
that
don't
just
even
means...
know, is
Well,
what you're
no.
telling me.
No, we don't. This is the first time we've used this dome of ours.
Nancy just kind of curls up a little bit, trying to, like, not
I'm ashamed. Morgan put me up to that, by the way.
throw
Dude,
everything.
call us bullshit. I want to see this
Okay.
Then she kind of slowly creeps up to the window and just looks and peers for Lucas.
You're looking into the dome?
Hmm.
Okay. Lucas,
Hmm.
as this dome is draining, you are just looking around, watching everything that's happening, listening to the fan whirl, and you feel the radiation slowly disappearing. Then you see, out of the corner of your eye, Nancy walking up to the dome, looking in at you.
Okay.
Nancy looks very frazzled and concerned.
Lucas looks very indifferent on the matter. So yeah, I'm just waiting for detox right now.
So
Okay.
she turns to the lady. What are you guys doing to him now?
Well, and she smiles a little bit. Right now, we're just gonna drain the radiation, then let him out. Probably just send him
Okay.
to the settlement. See what happens.
Drainings? Radiation. I like that idea, but will it drain from his body as well, or will
Oh,
it
no,
stay there?
absolutely not.
Okay. Phew. Whew. Whew. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna breathe.
You hear her kind of laugh. Yes, he will be very radioactive.
What?
Well, obviously, someone who takes in that much radiation is going to be pretty radioactive. So we're just
How
going
do
to
you
send them down and see what happens.
how do you make him not radioactive?
Oh, we can't do that.
So you're just gonna let him loose on the world and let him radiate everybody?
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds like a bad thing.
She's gonna just wait for Lucas to get out,
It's
my
new apartment.
but
So
is
you
very
wait.
much not okay.
Okay. It takes all of about, I'd say about 20 to 30 minutes before all of the radiation is drained from the room. There is no even remnants of radiation. There is, Lucas, to you, you do still feel radiation in the dome. It feels like the walls, even though there is no more mist, no more liquid, it feels like the entirety of the inside of this, at least the walls and the floor, are irradiated.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel you yourself are fairly heavily radiated.
Mm-hmm.
So if you even get into close proximity of someone, you could irradiate them.
Yes.
And the sliding door does open up for you.
Okay. I step into the first room.
Okay. Nancy, to you,
Hmm.
as You see the doors slide open and Lucas walk through. I almost called you Wookus.
Lucas, first whooping
It's
woman.
worse.
As Larkus
No,
walks
Lucas.
through, you hear the woman from behind you. Well, I guess we should all put on our hazmat suits now. As she presses a button. The entire room that you're in right now, the door seals behind you, and then you see tiny little, almost sprinklers just line the top of this current section of the room, and you just get doused with some sort of mist or something.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas, you lose 250 radiation.
I lose 250?
250, yes.
Fuck. I need to do simple math. Hold on.
Were you at 422?
Yeah,
422 minus 250, I believe.
172.
Well, I was going to say 170. So, minus 3 from all of your special stats.
Okay.
So that plus 1 buff, and then that plus 2 buff you've lost.
I didn't even bother writing in the plus 2.
Okay. So yeah, then just take away that plus 1.
Okay.
And Nancy,
Mm.
as you see him getting doused with this mist, after about 3 minutes go by, the mist dissipates, and then the second door opens. Lucas walks through, door closes, and then the final door closes and opens, and Lucas can walk out, and you're face to face with him.
Oh,
Nancy, what were you doing up there?
I was originally just looking for you to see, oh, I wonder what Lucas is doing right now. And I just see you get freaking doused with rads.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Tests.
Why?
Because I'm interested to see where these abilities can go.
Yes. That's great. Good. But why do you trust them? And she mostly just kind of points to the woman behind her.
She has walked up with a clipboard at this point. Well, because we are the only ones capable of helping him.
I just kind of point to her.
Don't point at me.
Stop it. Yeah, I point to the woman and just kind of give Nancy a snide look. I'm giving you sass right now, Nancy. I tried to make it apparent to you that I was actively doing this of my own volition.
Yes. I noticed that. But also, how many stats am I taking right now?
Right now, you're not taking anything.
Oh, okay, cool. But you want to set him loose on the settlement and just see what happens, like a sicko. And she turns to the woman. And I don't like that. I'm not.
I kind of look at the woman. Ah, you're fucking with her. Good.
She looks at Nancy super confused. What are you talking about? I told you time and time again, we were performing tests to see what Lucas's abilities could do.
Yes, you did say that. But you also just told me, oh, he's very radiated right now. I can't wait to see what he does to the settlement.
I don't know what you're talking about. We just took his radiation away from him.
She's right. However, you took a little more than I kind of was hoping you would take.
I wish she had told me she was going to take away your rads. I was
I
asking if
did.
that's what she did. I don't like you. Nancy just straight up says this. I don't like you. Lucas, do tests,
What?
do whatever. I trust that you know what's best for you, and you're doing your thing. I just don't like her. I don't like their intentions. I'm out. And she starts to walk away. Oh, and before she leaves, she turns around and says, "Also, you didn't have to get naked. Who made you do that? I'll kill him."
First of all, I was asked to strip for the test. And
Yeah,
secondly,
she just told me you didn't have to.
I was told that as well. After the fact, after I had been told initially to do so.
So what creep said you had to?
No idea.
You don't see him anywhere? In this room,
No.
maybe?
No.
Okay. Fucking perverts. She starts to leave.
Lucas, you can see the woman you were just talking to is barely hiding in her laughter.
I should point out I hadn't stated I started dressing again yet. So I was just basically standing in front of you, Nancy, cross-armed, not giving a damn, buck-ass naked, answering these questions.
Dick flowing in the wind.
I mean, Nancy wasn't looking. She was more concerned about his well-being and the fact that some perv made him do that. I
Regardless
think
of
by
the matter.
now Nancy has seen Lucas naked, Vlad naked, not George.
Technically
Not that it would matter at all, but
Have you seen Oleg naked?
no. Almost did. I ran.
Could've.
Could've. I would have laughed hysterically if he rolled a 1.
Michael. Oh, is he gone?
Oh.
That may be.
Muted myself. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I've been talking for a while. I just didn't realize.
So yeah,
Just wondering,
I
why aren't they
kind of looked to
listening
the
me?
woman. I kind of looked to the woman, and after Nancy leaves, I was trying to say to her, "You know I'm taken, right?"
No, that doesn't matter to me.
Pretty sure it matters to him.
No, that's fine.
Well, while I'm here, would I be able to get a couple of these empty vials filled with some more rads?
Sure, I don't see why not. You've
Thank you.
thoroughly entertained me today.
Mm-hmm.
So she does take the vials from you, hands them off to someone else. She herself walks over to one of the drawers in the area, pulls out 2 lead-lined gloves,
Okay.
walks back over to you, hands them to you, and then she hands you 6 vials full of liquid radiation.
She gave me an extra one.
She did.
Alright. I put my shit back on. I'll say I put my shit back on while they're getting the rad vials, and she walked away.
Okay.
Alright. And when I get the vials back, I will make sure that the gloves are on, and I will drink. I'll drink the 6 of them.
You'll drink all 6 of them?
That's going to boost me back over 200. Or no, I'll drink 5 of them, so that it literally takes 1 vial in order to bump me over.
Okay, you're gonna drink 5 full vials. Previously,
'cause-
you have been taking small sips.
Oh, you're right. I was okay.
Chug
Hold
it!
Chug, chug, chug.
Chug it, you pussy!
on.
He drinks them all. Man, I feel great. He turns around. All of them are dead.
Hold on.
Everyone in the
I,
room is
I,
just a pile
it's
of
been
goo.
such a long time since I've refilled this shit, so I kind of forgot what occurred. All right, so I'll take one of those and refill my flask a bit, and the other 5 will just be filled. And so, cool. All right, and I will take enough sips from my flask to get myself to just before the 200 mark.
Okay. I will say you can drink enough to get to 195.
Okay. All right.
Alright. I should get going in a minute,
Okay.
because I need to get ready for work.
Then I will say, for now, this is where we leave it. And we will get to George's perspective on what has been happening next week.
Goody.
Cool.
As it turns out, the town was attacked by 14 rad scorpions. Giant ones.
Mm.
That could fly.
Yeah. You've been having fun staring at Lucas's dick. Meanwhile, George and Timothy are fighting like the battle of the century.
They're basically just fighting Helm's Deep.
You come outside. George has fashioned himself armor from one of them. He's like, ah! He taped their stingers to his arms.
Lucas leaves the science division. The second the door opens, I hear the sounds of battle and warfare. I was like, ah, fuck. And I'm fucking charging down the steps. I'm charging down the steps, like, drinking the fucking flask. It's like, shit, here it goes. Let's do this.
Oh my
I was gonna say, there would have been a pretty fun happenings for you if you drank 5 vials.
I can
Nope.
see sound. Alright, I'll talk to you all later.
Alright, see
Good
ya.
night, Miguel.
Hasta luego.